Hello, I'm Sarah, and I'm going to discuss the development of language for CLD students today. First, let's look at what the research says. There's a lot of research, but the main areas that I have discovered are first that teacher attitudes and preparedness have huge implications for the potential success of ELL students. And the reality is that over 70% of teachers lack the experience to work with ELLs. Also, English language learners benefit greatly from the activation of prior knowledge, scaffolded instruction, joint production, and a gradual release of responsibility. Something very effective for engaging CLD students is connecting the learning to their personal experiences so they're able to intake the information and apply it to themselves. And finally, teacher talk. This is something that we should be very aware of and be sure to speak simply and clearly for our CLD students and really be aware of that. So, what can educators do to serve CLD students? At the district level, to address the huge problem of a lack of teacher preparedness, one step would be offering additional classes or certifications for teachers to work with CLD students and for teachers to pursue that professional development. Next would be the activation of prior knowledge. This can be done through KWL charts. This can be done through preparatory activities and things like that. Building relationships is extremely important, showing your students that you value them and you're invested in their education as well. Differentiating instruction. So you'll see here I included a visual of different ways that you can scaffold instruction. And finally, working together with teachers. If you are not an EFL teacher, you can definitely work with your CLD students' EFL teacher to see perhaps what strategies you can use. And again, that is, to me, a form of also professional development. In my experience, so here are some of my wonderful students that I've had. Respect goes a very long way. Something that I've done in America, Korea, and China is just to cultivate an interest in my students' language, their lives, and their interests. And this goes a really long way as far as their receptiveness and willingness to do their classwork and to engage with you. Patience is also essential. ELLs take longer to produce the language, and the learning can be really slow. So it's very important to not be impatient, to be, repeat yourself as many times as you need, find different ways to say things, be willing to, maybe ask your CLD student a question, give other first language English speakers a chance to answer the question while you're waiting for your ELL to produce an answer. Next is lowering the affective filter. Anxiety is a huge demotivator, and I have found that lightheartedness and even silliness are really helpful in keeping students going, letting them know that mistakes are a very important part of the process, that I make mistakes in the languages that I'm trying to learn, and that it's just a part of the process. Next is mindful error correction. So not calling students out individually and really making a point of focusing more on positive reinforcement and only using error correction in strategic ways when it's really necessary. And finally, going back to activating prior knowledge, using a multitude of materials. Students shine in different capacities. Some will be really good with visuals, some will be really good with kinesthetic things, some will be really good with reading activities, and really making sure that you use a variety of materials to make sure that you're reaching all of your students. Here are my sources, and thank you very much. I'm excited to continue to learn more about my CLD students.